Okay, I'm back again. It's an old ICOM radios. I think I have to. ICOM back at the time of some of these radios, the memory wasn't developed yet, and I turned one side of the radio down, but not the other. Memory wasn't developed yet, and so they stored some of the operating features into battery-backed RAM, and battery goes out, the radio quits working. So I've got the hardware to reprogram these old ICOM, which I showed you earlier in my box. I think that's down there is a IC71 or something, just a receiver. Looks like another transceiver down there of some kind. I don't know what that is. Got a tag on it, which means something. I'll have to look that up. A Tektronix oscilloscope box for the, I think it's a Club's TS850S. Maybe not. Anyway, it's a box for a TS850. There's a Swan 500. And then I have two Drake TR7s, which I'll get to in a minute. But I don't remember where I got that Swan or why I got it. Bought it. Most of the stuff was pretty cheap because it's broken. Right there's a Motorola radio service monitor for working on radios. I got that at the Peoria Hamfest. I seemed to be into accessories at one point. I needed to tune an antenna for six meters over at the Decatur Club, so I put together a 6-meter antenna tuner to tune a vertical, a 10-meter vertical to operate on 6 meters. So I built that. It worked fine. It was just for test purposes. FT101B. That's the one that caused the fire company to come. I was working on it and went to lunch, and my wife called and said the house is filling up with smoke. Would you please come home? I came home. I got here. There was several fire trucks outside. I came and went into the house. I came down the basement. There were several firemen down here wandering around my basement trying to find the source of all the smoke. Well, the source of all the smoke was this FT101B in this picture. And what happened is the power transformer decided to burn up. And so I went right to the problem because I had a suspicion. I had left it on when I went to lunch, which was not a good thing to do, but I did it. And so I found a power transformer to replace the one, but I've never gotten back to repairing it. It's like so many other projects. I've never gotten back to them. I have moved off in other directions. I got so many projects I don't know which one to do next. Right here is a couple of Yaesu FT757s. Those are worth $300 or $400 fixed, and then the antenna tuners that match it. And these Yaesu accessories there. But anyway, that's that stuff. Okay, well, it's just an old Henry amp there, and there's a Yaesu 2100. There's a Heathkit SP200. I got off of Earl. It used to be Earl's, but I fixed his. I did some work for him, so he paid me by letting me have that amplifier. I think it's his antenna. I got drawers full of. This is my stapler drawer, sandpaper drawer, my scale for when I sell something on eBay. I can weigh it. Tape, coax, and my fox hunting antenna down there. And let's see, I don't remember. Oh, miscellaneous coax. Now that stuff there's that brown stuff is really good stuff. That's RG142, I think. I got it somewhere. I can't remember where, Hamfest or something. And that's the good stuff. It's Teflon, double shielded. Use it inside repeaters. The little arbor press. As a Peoria Hamfest, I saw a little arbor press. 20 bucks. Comes in real handy sometimes. It's not much pressure, but when you're dealing with small stuff, it works just fine for pressing bearings in and out. My service panel, which I gotta finish. I was at the Dayton Hamfest one year, and I wanted a microscope for working on surface mount stuff. So I ran into this thing on Sunday morning. It's binocular, it's Amscope or something like that. And it works. Not great, but it works for getting, if I gotta really look at something close. Down there was project boxes. More project boxes. Oh yeah, here's my circuit board material. Where I have my circuit board stuff. Now on to the next rack. Now this rack, the next shelving unit. This used to be where I would put other people's stuff. But since I don't work on other people's stuff much anymore, I put my stuff on it. On the bottom, that's some kind of Marantz amplifier. I think it got off of Jim Wentz. A couple of speakers. And a friend called me out to Hamfest, not a Hamfest, a garage sale out in Monticello. And I picked up this Drake TR3 real cheap. Practically free. And there's a couple of, that's my MFJ antenna analyzers, which I probably fix up and sell, but the one should be really good. The 269 should function fine. I haven't used it in a while. That's my tube tester project, Hickok model 600, and I do a schematic for it. It's wasted on a winter's day. I spent a lot of time redoing the schematic and found some errors in the original schematic and stuff, but I've got a new meter for it, and I'm working on getting that back up and working beautifully, I hope. UHF duplexer from someplace, and Arium Logic analyzer. I must have got that cheap, I don't know where, but it works, and very basic analyzer stuff if you wanted to do some, you know, it's one of those things where it'd be fun to play with, but I've never had time to play with it. There's a Kenwood TS830, which I've already gone through, and that's in beautiful working condition, so that makes somebody a great radio. I need to sell it, move it on down, but I haven't got around to it. This next shelf, it looks like there's a couple of mobiles, a Linco GX70 and a Yaesu FT2800. It looks like another Linco of some kind there. And what's this? Oh, I think this is Al Wolf's. Yeah, this is Al Wolf's. Got hit by lightning, so and I can't fix it. This has got something dead inside the software part of it. Anyway, the speaker, excuse me, some microphones. Here I have a Yaesu FT1000 MP, given to me by Dave, W1FJN, I think that's down there in Florida. And I'm going to redo this thing. I'm going to try to do this thing on video. I'll put it on eBay. And he said it was struck by lightning, but that doesn't scare me much. All right, this is Ray's old radio, which I think I just dumped. I don't know, something else. Now up on the top is a doohickey for. This is really for holding stuff. When you're trying to hold stuff, solder wires together and stuff, that comes in real handy. You know, that's a temperature controller from from Steve Slager, K9SGS. It's totally junk. I can't find a manual to it. Nobody's got much information on it. It's as if the company just decided this was a bad product and we're going to make it disappear. So you get manuals for all kinds of stuff, but not this thing. And but it's got a nice transformer. I'll try and take the power transformer out of it. Or throw the rest of it away or something. Okay, that's a crank up radio there. You could crank that thing up and without power and listen to some whatever AM, I think. But anyway, that's moving on here. Next little cabinet. Now this is an antenna tuner that I've had since the mid 80s, so I've had it for at least 35 years. And it's an MFJ 986. Bought it brand new back in the late 80s, mid 80s. And I kind of have a sentimental attachment to it. I fixed it. I drove it with 1800 watts once, and it arced the phenolic insulators that they had inside of the RF went right through the insulator and shorted the ground, burned up the insulators that hold the various hold the capacitors and things in place. So I replaced it with Teflon, so it's worked great after that. That's an oscilloscope. I can't remember the status of that. A box full of something here. Oh, that's it. Looks like a box. It's got a Kenwood I don't know what radio, TS220 maybe. Yeah, TS520, sorry. And here's my wall wart box. Bunches of wall warts. Nothing. Oh, more wall warts and my bird watt meter carrier boxes. Now in front of me is my antenna ingress. So I took and replaced the window with a piece of particle board, chipboard, whatever, and ran the coaxes in. And I usually disconnect them when there's thunderstorms around, but of course sometimes I'm not home, sometimes I forget. But they're all, you know, you can disconnect all of them, and they're labeled, and I got color tape on them so you can easily figure out which one goes where. But I have 6 antennas coming off my tower, because so there's 6 coaxes that are coming in this window. My rotor control cable is this one. This cable is for the stepper antenna when I had it up, and the stepper antenna is up in my attic. Don't know what its future will be. Sherry will probably have the junk man haul it off. Let's see. And down here, oh, speakers and headphones. Speakers and headphones. Why did I get so many speakers and headphones? I don't know. Ooh, power cables and such. Now the bottom drawer, I think this is microphone drawer. So if I need a microphone, I'll come over here and look around and see if I happen to have it. I don't know where they come from. I don't remember. Most of them Hamfest or whatever. So moving on down the line, we got another shelf unit with more radios on it. Looks like I have a Kenwood VFO for 520. Speaker. I bought this power supply, the Peoria Hamfest, for like 30 bucks or something. And I said, that's a nice power supply. And the guy says, yeah, it works. He was right, I got it home, it works. It just, it's really noisy, RF-wise. So I don't know if that's the way it is or if it's got something wrong with it. This is a HAL Communications RTTY box. HAL Communications is based over in Urbana. This is, I think, I haven't used it, of course. So got it in a box somewhere, but it's a HAL interface, RTTY interface. And, of course, it's obsolete. And There's a Tempo one I bought for 20 bucks or something really cheap. And I don't know if I'll ever fix it up. It's probably only worth 100 bucks fixed up. And it's got the speaker. This is a Tektronix 2445 scope. I don't remember the history of it. I really don't. I think it may have been the one I bought at the Indy Hamfest that had a shorted horizontal drive chip. And the horizontal drive chip shorts, throw them away because you'll never get another one. They're totally unobtainable. Looks like a digital readout for Kenwood of some kind. Oh, this is a Heathkit radio I bought somewhere. I don't know why I picked it up somewhere. Little box fill strength meter. Just some junk. Boy, I'm remembering things. Gotta get rid of some of this. Let's see. Here's a Radio Shack Mobile, and what's this? That's an ADI, I think. Mobile. Some Kenwood power supplies, some speakers. I ran across a good deal on the accessories. I ended up picking them up. That's a nice speaker for a 930 or 940 series. And that's what this is, I think. It's really nice in the box. Don't ask me where I got them, I don't remember. And down here, there's a big box with some junk in it. Down here is, looks like a Drake antenna tuner. Another mobile of some kind. Alinco. I don't know what the status of that is. Let's see, this is parts for a Kenwood 940. And this there is a, what is this? It's a Kenwood, what is it? It's a Kenwood TS what? Oh, 820. The Kenwood TS 820. Those are good radios. Junk now, I think. That's a 430. I like the 430s. Yeah, this is a 440s. 440. I've repaired a lot of the 440 TS 440s, 450s. Some kind of an RF cage down there. I don't know. These are 200 watt repeater amplifiers, UHF. Got one at the. Oh heck, I don't remember where I got them. Let's see. Now we'll go back up again. Top of the shelving unit. Looks like a power inverter. It's probably broken. What the hell is this? Oh, that's a Bogan PA thing. Boontang or Boonton or whatever. A couple of repeater amplifiers, it looks like. Looks like a 2 meter amp. A couple of UHF duplexers. A Kenwood, what is that? TS 140S. And in the box is a TS 450. I bought that at the, I remember that one. I bought that at the Decatur had a little Hamfest. I bought that there cheap. And the only thing wrong with it is the display element. I was going to replace it with a strip of LEDs. I haven't got around to it. I started on the project. I got off on something else. I keep getting off on other things. And I got a couple of TS 430s, which for some reason I like the little 430s. They're a cute little radio, and once you get them tuned up right, they work very well. Okay, what's the heck is this? Looks like a frequency counter or something. I'm not sure what this thing is. It's got an antenna on the back. Spectracom net clock. Oh, some kind of a clock with reference to WWV or WWV. I don't know what it is. I don't remember. Now this box below it here is a artificial power load which I've used a number of times. So I had a power supply I was working on, and it worked fine with no current or a little bit of current. But when you start drawing 10 amps or more, the power supply would go out of regulation and start getting real flaky. And so you put it on a load so you can load it down. And it's a programmable solid state load. And then it's got a readout of the current right here. And the voltage is 50. Oh, it's got various up to 150 amps. But I use it to load down power supplies when I want to find out if they'll handle the current. But anyway, I had a power supply that had a problem, and I found out that the capacitor across the output terminals is bad. That capacitor across the output terminals on those Astron power supplies is important, even though you may not think it would be, but it's part of the it's there because of the fact that it's part of the time constant of the regulator circuit. So that capacitor has to be there in order to keep the regulator within its within its dynamic range of regulation, I guess. Looks like I got enough Kenwood power supplies. I need to get rid of some of those. Gee, Merry Christmas. There's a couple of Kenwood TS 930s. I was into those for a while. I've restored a number of them and kicked them back out. There's a lot of mods and things you can make them really work well. And let's see, this might be, okay, that's TS 930 or 940 boards and parts. Down there just some RF decks from someplace. And let's see here. Okay, alright, my wire stock. Up there's a signal generator. I think I might have got that off of Al Wolf, I'm not real sure. Can't remember where I get this stuff. But I don't remember what was wrong with it. Something. But here's my various wire, hookup wire. I've got various gauges. Got some RG174 type cable over there. Got some varnished wire here for various coils or whatever. Bunch of hookup wires. And some mega wire for big current stuff. Now down here is cabling. The cables, my cable stock. From somewhere. Every time I go to a Hamfest or I show up at the radio club, I buy anybody who's got a bunch of cables, I buy the cables, bring it home, throw it here. So, who knows. Alright, next. Cabinet. Let's start at the top. Oh, up there's my silver mica stock. I love silver mica capacitors. You can heat them with a heat gun and they will not move. And work very well. I think that thing that right there is a pulse generator, I believe. And this is my surface mount area where I got my surface mount components in these plastic containers. Surface mount capacitors, transistors, and so on and so forth. You can see the names. I've got a pretty good stock of various surface mount stuff. Here's some vacuum tubes. Most of them are RF transmitting tubes. There are some that aren't, but most of them are. Or there's a couple of, looks like I got a couple of 3400Zs, an 8877 in the back in the corner there, it looks like. These are 572Bs and some other stuff. They're all used, of course, none of them new. And some more tubes down there. I think these tubes right here for that amplifier down there, that MLA, yeah, 8875. I don't think these are good. I remember one of them was, this one especially, it's got a bad spot underneath of it. Somebody they sandblasted it, so, and I didn't see this. I bought them for that amplifier down there, and they're no good. I got some various stuff and more tubes there. But I bought these. These were like 20 bucks a piece or something, but they got a brand new 4CX250 tube in them, and the socket and everything. Here's the big tubes. Somewhere in here I have a pair of new old stock 3 CPX 1500 that I bought up at the Piatone Hamfest, and they're about this for at least $500 a piece, maybe more. But I have to get around to getting rid of them. I've always been scared to sell them though, because I only paid $65 a piece, and I always wonder why do they sell them for $65 a piece. Although they're definitely new, and well, that's not one of them. That's a 3500Z, I think. But they're new because there's absolutely no markings on the pins at all. So, I was at a Hamfest and they had a bunch of capacitors, big boys. I think most of them got high ESR. I would have to check them out before I ever use them. I don't know what this is, a blower, maybe from the Earl's old amplifier. Okay, now we're back over here. I think that's miscellaneous capacitors up there I got from somewhere or, but this is my capacitor shelving unit. That over there was my surface mount, my tubes. This is my capacitors, and all my capacitors are in this shelving unit. And you can see up there is the miscellaneous. Of course, over there was my mica, and these are just, I don't know, miscellaneous ceramic capacitors. These are just eBay purchases, I think. And I don't know where the heck I got those these things. There's some miscellaneous capacitors in there. I don't know where I got these. These are my organized capacitors, electrolytic capacitors. Of course, they're the ones you use most often. These are the radials, and these are the the axial, where they got lead coming out each end. And various capacitors that I've picked up at some Hamfest somewhere for some reason, or something, I don't know. Anyway, down here is just I gotta organize it better. And I've got a couple of vacuum capacitors, vacuum variables. I bought this one off of eBay for a project, and then the project fell away, so it's still sitting there. I have a lot of projects that just sort of fall away. Tantalum, monolithic, ceramic, polypropylene. I like these polypropylene. They're pretty cool capacitors, and they're kind of big for the value sometimes, but I like them. I like playing with them. Here's my selection of ceramic capacitors. Some of them are NPO, some of them are not. I imagine most of them are not, but it all depends on whether the NPO is of importance. NP0, actually. Everybody says NPO, but it's NP0, negative, positive, zero. They just don't change the value with heat very much. There's some, 74 picofarad. Looks like silver mica, but I'll put those up there. No, I'll leave them over here because I'll lose them. I'll put it up there. But I have some high voltage capacitors and fixed inductors. This is my inductor stock, some variable inductors, trimmer capacitors. I went on a craze for trimmer capacitors and bought a bunch of them on eBay. My Mylar capacitors. I love to use Mylar capacitors in restoring old radio equipment because they just seem to be the right thing to replace. This is 1,000 volts. What is it? 15. I don't know what the value is, but they just work well on those old radios. So I got Mylar. I like Mylar capacitors. Hooks down here. Looks like my stock of variable capacitors. Yeah. Variable capacitors. Somewhere. Various places. These are old silver micas. I don't like to use them.